Me personally, I've never bought anything luxury or designer or anything of that sort. I personally don't feel that it's necessary. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to A Black Girl's Odyssey. This is your hostess, Dee, and I'm going to be speaking today about a topic that was surfing around the internet a few weeks ago. It's in regards to the luxury brands that's floating around out there. I've watched many videos about this topic, but no one seemed to discuss the obvious concerns behind what's going on. Um, I think that we need to discuss this a little bit further and a little bit deeper just to get people to think about what's going on with this whole situation. But first things first, I need you to hit that like and subscribe button. I also need you to chime my notification bell so you will be aware of any videos I make regarding my adventures in traveling. As you can see, I made some changes. First of all, I cut off all my hair. I decided that this is going to be a part of my liberation era. And so I decided to cut off my hair so it won't be in control of me anymore. I plan on taking swimming classes soon in the near future. And I don't want to have to worry about going in the pool and worrying about the chlorine messing up my locks and just causing wreaking havoc on my hair. So I decided to cut all my hair off. I'm gonna let it grow out and do its own thing, and hopefully in a few months it'll grow into my satisfaction, and I can go ahead from there. The second thing that I've changed is that I decided to change careers. I'm going to go into accounting now. I've decided to go into accounting because I'm getting very serious into financial literacy as I age, and I would like to know just about everything about it, or at least the most important things that could benefit my life. And what better time to do that now while I still am semi young? And so I decided to go ahead and progress and move forward into a new direction, and I chose accounting. Another thing that I made a big change in is that I'm going to change my name. I'm no longer going to be called Dee Dee. I'm going to be called Breeze from this point on. I've decided that Breeze is more suitable for my brand, and I'm going to go ahead and move forward in that. So you will no longer hear me refer to myself as Dee Dee, but Breeze instead. So since I've covered all that now, we can go ahead and get into today's topic. So, like I said, I've watched many videos about this luxury brand debacle or fall or collapse or whatever you want to phrase it as, but no one seemed to really dig in deep into it. And I'm going to try to dig in as deep as possible and as fast as possible, but it's to get the consumers to think a little bit more differently than what they have been thinking before. So the fifth thing that I'm going to talk about will be, because I'm doing a countdown. So the fifth thing will be consumer affinity. This is a recent phrase that I came across, and I understand what it's all about. What it really means, in short, is that a person has a certain loyalty to a company or a brand because of its name, of its quality, or just the fact that it's been around for many years. And so a lot of consumers say I'm going to stick with this brand because I know this name more and I'm going to go with this, assuming that they're getting the best when that may not necessarily be true. But, I understand. My grandmother, may God bless her soul, when she was alive, she would never, ever buy any other laundry detergent aside from Tide. She loved Tide. If you brought her anything less than Tide, she will tell you to take it back. She will not wash her clothes in it. She would just not use it. She was just stubborn when it came to using anything other than Tide. I myself am a Gain girl because I love the way how it smells, but my grandmother wanted Tide, and you could not bring her the Tide with the pods, or you couldn't bring her the liquid Tide. You had to bring her the crystal powder format of Tide because she felt like that cleanse her clothes better than just regular any other type of Tide. And so I understand why that is. Maybe perhaps she was using it from a very young age and she just kept continuing using it. But my grandma would not deviate from using Tide. So I understand consumers' affinity, and I really appreciate that. But I really sympathize with a lot of people who felt hurt about the fact of losing or putting so much money into something that wasn't really made are really produced as they thought, or coming from a place of where they thought it was coming from. That does not mean that the quality is necessarily bad. It just means that people were deceived. I think they're more hurt by the fact that they were deceived from the products that was made, and they thought in one country, but actually was produced and made in another. So I do understand and sympathize with those people, and I understand the reasoning behind consumer affinity. The fourth thing I want to talk about was the cheapskate perspective. Me personally, I've never bought anything luxury or designer or anything of that sort. I personally don't feel that it's necessary. I have certain brands and certain looks in certain stores I prefer to shop to. So I've never been interested in luxury designer brands. I just don't think that it makes sense to spend 2,000, 50,000, $100,000 on certain merchandise. I mean, a $10 purse will do just as well as a purse that costs 30,000. Also, I just don't. I work too hard for my money. I don't have time to just give my money away just like that. Even if I were making multi millions, I still would see it that way because I just need that thing to do its job. I don't need it to be extremely overpriced to feel like I'm getting quality. It's the quality that matters the most. I also don't believe in having a lot of something. First of all, I don't use purses. I use wallets, and right now I'm feeling the Vera Bradley wallet. I love the size of it. I love the way that it functions for me, especially when I'm traveling. So that's simple enough for me. I don't need anything more extravagant than that. But I have had a lot of people that would consider me to be a cheapskate, and I don't consider myself a cheapskate. I consider myself to be intentional and purposeful with my money. And so when I'm shopping from the least smallest thing to the greatest smallest thing, I only shop when things are on sale. I also am the queen of the clearance rack. I will get my things off clearance very quickly because I just don't feel like paying full price is necessary. If it's something that I really need, I may make the exception, but for the most part, no. I'm going to go for the clearance rack. I get all of my clothes on clearance. I do not pay full price for anything. I also like wait if I possibly can when it's like tax free weekend. I'll go and invest in electronics then or something of the sort, unless it's very urgent. I don't try to spend outside of that for big ticket items. I just choose not to. That's just my choice. And so people can call me cheap. They can call me frugal. They can use any of those terms that they want to. But I'm purposeful with my money, and I'm not apologetic about it at all. And maybe some people could learn a thing or two if they were more purposeful with their money and intentional, and they wouldn't be saying the blues like they're saying the blues now on some of these videos I've seen on YouTube. Also, the third thing I want to talk about, I'm wondering now if this makes everybody question the cost of everything. Um, the simplest things, a stick of gum. If you go in the store and a stick of gum costs $1, are you questioning it now and wondering if it's really 25 cents that costs it to be made? You should be questioning everything from the cars that you drive, the homes that you live in, even your health care. As you know, the United States is one of the countries, if not the only country, that with overpriced insurance and healthcare, and it makes you wonder: Is it really necessary for it to be costing this much? I mean, you should really be questioning everything around you now. If you don't, I really think that this situation with the luxury brands did not really do anything to some people. And I wouldn't even be surprised if people continue to buy these products at this price that they're asking for, because they're so used to name value and so used to getting something to make them feel better, that you know it probably wouldn't even deviate them from thinking differently and purchasing something. Now, I'm meaningful with everything that going forward. I've always been questioning certain things, but I'm questioning even more now. I will continue to shop on the clearance racks. I will continue to buy things when they're on sale. I will continue to just live my life the way I've always been living it, because it benefits me. I don't feel like I'm being um, outpriced in the market. My rent today is still less than $1,000 when everybody paying on average at least 1,200. Some paying extremely more than that. I moved to a cheaper state because of this. So I am telling you, I think people need to really sit down and really question more than they ever did before about everything that they're purchasing, going through, and such. So that's my take on the questioning of everything. The second thing I want to speak about is the anger. If you are one of these people who've bought one of these merchandise at such an exorbitant price, who are you really mad at? Some people want to be mad at China. Some people want to be mad at the current president. Some people want to be mad at the US economy. But who are you really mad at? No one twisted your arm to go buy these high priced things, these cars you all are driving. I mean, when I do research and I see that the average car out here is about $700 to pay monthly, there is no way in God's green earth that I will pay $700 a month for anyone's car. And so, if you find out that your car that you currently drive, if it's a brand new car, or at least in the last 3 to 5 years, if you find out that that car only took five to $10,000 to pay for it, but you're paying 20, 30, 40, 50,000 or more for your car, what would you do? How would you feel? I think once you all find out that this does not only um, is limited to what's being made in China, also your cars, your homes, and you start questioning and finding out for real how much these things cost, you're probably gonna want to pull out your hair and be just as bald as me almost. Because I mean, some of you all, I've known some people personally and not so personally, who are paying a whole bunch of money to keep up with their payments and stuff, working two jobs. I'm working two jobs, but not to pay for anything. I have another reason behind that. But some of you all are working very, very hard to pay for these these materialistic things that's only going to be with you for a moment of time. So you really got to think twice about who you're directing your anger to. My answer is you should be directing your anger towards yourself, because you are the one who's the consumer in the end. You decide where your dollars go. You decide that you're going to sign this note, this paperwork, this contract saying that you're going to pay for this car for X amount of years. I remember, and I'm not that old, and I'm sure there are people who probably are older than me that remember that probably paying for a car probably only took about a year or two. I remember when it's 3 years, then it was 5 years. Now those contracts are almost up to 10 years. There is no way on God's green earth I'm gonna pay that. It's just not gonna happen. And I really think that people should sit down and concentrate on themselves and try to see who they're angry at the most. And I would venture to say that it should be yourself. You should say that I'm angry. I was stupid for signing this contract for this X amount of years, for this X amount of time. And it's okay. And we don't even want to get on the topic of how much interest you all are paying on these things. I know you may have seen videos about finance advice, whatever. I'm not giving financial advice at this moment, but I'm really got to say, I cannot see myself giving someone free money, because that's all interest is. I can't see myself giving someone free money for these things that only last for 5 to 10 minutes. I can't see myself doing that. So again, when you think about this and you sit down, really sit down and wonder who you're really angry at. And take the blame for it, because it's at the bottom line, it's the man in the mirror. It's yourself that you should be angry at. It's no one else's fault. If anything, you all should be thanking China for letting you all know what really went down with this whole situation. Now you don't have to worry about being deceived anymore. Like I said in point three, you need to be questioning everything around you. And my final thought is this: the number one thing I want to talk about when it comes to these luxury brands is self worth. A lot of people, all throughout my life, I see people get tied up in these materialistic things and let these things define who they are. People, their cars, they don't want you sitting in their car a certain way, bumping up against their car a certain way. All these kind of things. And I understand, because you're working hard to pay for these things. I respect that totally. But when you have your self-worth wrapped up into these things, you really need to question yourself. What's your self-worth? Are you looking for someone to validate you? Do you really think the more material stuff that you have, the more worthy you are? You really have to question. For myself, my self-worth is wrapped up in loving myself and investing in myself. So when I need a break from work, I take time off. I don't care if it's a week, 2 weeks, a month, 2 months, and a little while is about to be 6 months. But anyway, nonetheless, whenever I need time away from work, I take time off. When I feel like I need to um buy something just because I need it, not because I want it so much, I buy it. I don't wrap myself up in all these materialistic things. I often tell my mom, I said, I don't do things to impress people. People are impressed by the things that I do. And I'm not even trying to impress them. They find out, they're impressed, and there you go. That's where it is. A lot of people can't believe that I packed up and moved all the way on the other side of the country by myself. I had to, for my own peace of mind, my own sanity. I had to get away from my hometown. A lot of people cannot believe that I travel a lot by myself. I love it. I love solo traveling. Yeah, it's nice to have someone accompany me every now and then, but for the most part, I love the solo travel. I love to be by myself a lot. I am my own best friend. Since my grandmother passed away, I am my own best friend. I like spending a lot of time alone. No, I'm not crazy. No, I'm not suicidal. I just want to be alone. I just love my own company. I am my own best friend. So these are questions that you need to ask yourself. Do you really value your self worth? Do you know yourself the way that you should know yourself? Or do you need um, name brand car to do that, or do you need expensive clothing or expensive trips, or whatever the case may be? Do you need those things to validate who you are? You really need to sit down and think about it. A lot of people don't think about it. They don't feel like they're worthy, and it all boils down to the fact that you just don't love yourself. You could love yourself, you should love yourself, but a lot of people just don't. At one point in time in my life, I have to be honest, I would have never cut my hair down like this. I would have been so self-conscious about my hair because of how I was raised and taught about my hair. I was always taught, and if you're a black woman, you probably was taught that your hair is bad, it's not good, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, not anymore. I've cut this hair off. I'm being delivered from the shackles of society telling you that my hair is not good. If you don't like it, don't look at me. We're good. I'm going to keep doing what I've always been doing as Breeze. Nothing is going to change over here. So I really think that people, and not, this doesn't just apply to just women, men have some type of inferiority complex too. Y'all need to sit down and really think about this, because no one sees you as a better man for being able to afford expensive things. So I definitely don't. So I really think you need to sit down and question yourself about your self-worth, and maybe perhaps move in a different direction where you don't have to have yourself wrapped up in so much of these materialistic things, because it will bring you down both mentally and emotionally, and you need to really reevaluate your whole situation. So that is it for this video on the topics of the disappointment of the luxury brands. I understand the consumer affinity, um, how people see you as, or could possibly see you as a cheapskate. I'm told that all the time, and I actually don't think that I am. I'm just intentional with my money. You really need to start questioning everything around you because, listen, if this situation hasn't taught you anything, then you're just unwilling to learn. You really need to be questioning everything around you. You also need to know who you're going to direct your anger towards because you probably directing the anger towards the wrong person. It's probably yourself that you need to be sitting down with and having a serious discussion with. And also you need to know your self-worth. Your self-worth is way more than materialistic stuff. I never really see people but what they got. Sometimes I think it's foolish that they pay money for certain things. They have their own reasons, and that's fine. I don't even care because it doesn't affect me either way. But I'm just saying that you really need to, for those who are suffering with the situation of trying to figure out if their self worth is wrapped up in materialistic things or not, those are the people who I'm talking to. If you don't have a problem and you know who you are and you're solid in who you are, then I'm not talking about you. Just talking about people who have to question themselves. So really sit down and think about all these things I've said. Um, you evaluate your situation and where you plan on going in the future with all this. I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions on it. So make sure again that you hit that like and subscribe button. Make sure you also share this video with a friend, and especially with someone who you think may be struggling with any of these five things that I just named. Please make sure that you share this video with them and leave a comment constructively in the comment section because I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions on what I've said about the disappointment in the luxury brands. Are you going to continue purchasing these? Are you going to scale back? Are the knockoffs not so much of a knockoff anymore? I mean, I would be very hurt to know that I paid $50,000 for a brand name vehicle only to find out that it only costs $2,000 to make. I would be very hurt by that, and I think you should be too. So let me know your thoughts and opinions in the bottom. I really appreciate you all for listening and being a member. Thank you very much. Have a good night. Bye, and may God bless.